Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Thursday. What's going on? How's everybody doing? It's good to see you guys. Hello, hello. It's good to see everybody on the chat. What's up, Bree? What's up, Lucas? Hello, Idara. Good to see you guys. Happy Thursday. I'm so happy to be able to be here with you guys, hanging out another Thursday and creating something new together. I'm excited because today we're going to just dive in like we normally do and create something exciting, but also we want to check out and hang out and also look at some of your work and review that. I'm sorry I kept my music so loud during the intro, I just realized. But I'm so happy to be here. Like I said, I'm excited to jump in, create something cool, something exciting. Today we are just going to be designing a little bit more like we normally do. Last week we designed a poster that looked like a book cover. We did a few designs that had some texture on the back, and we had a few things like that. Also, we shared the image inside of our Discord for everybody to be able to jump on it and play with it and make their own version. I don't know if you guys had a chance to do that. We're about to go into Discord and check that out for myself and also for all of you guys to see what people came up with from last week to this week. Let me share my screen real quick so we can take a look at what we did last week. I can show it. This is the smart object, but we ended up with this design. This was the final design. Let me position it right there in the middle so you guys can see it. This is the final design. We used this kind of like colorful background with this model, and it was really cool to make, really cool to create. And the layers, let me show you guys the layers a little bit. I know most of you guys probably were here last week, but I'll show you guys what that looked like over here. Trying to move my chat so that I can see it a little bit more. Okay, so you can see here that we had a few assets that we created live in the show. We created this flower asset. We use, I think we did this one with Firefly. Yeah, we opened Firefly and created these flowers, and then we added those flowers to the back. Deleted some of it, created some layering with it. Also, we deleted this part over here for the poster to work a little bit better together. But this is essentially what that looked like. Also, we did some blending modes over here. We did a difference on this poster, and it was really cool to make something like this. Today, I have an idea that I want to share with you guys on something that I want to do that I feel like it could be really cool. And it involves a little bit of like using Illustrator in the process and then bringing it into Photoshop with an idea that I had. But I want to share it to you guys, see what you guys think and which route we should go with it. Let me go ahead and open Discord real quick. Gabriel, what's up? Good to see you. Good to have you here. Hello, hello. Everybody else, what's up? Good to see you guys. Welcome in. All right, so we have a Discord. The link is right there on the chat. You can click on it, jump in. After you jump in, you can go to on the spot channel, and we have this stuff going on over here where we are posting the work that we're doing. We're sharing people's work. You can see Lucas made this one last week. Then we have Marsha that made this one last week. This was off of something that I had made the week before. So what we try to do is we try to have people create their art after the show and share it here. And you can see how cool is some of the work that people are creating in the community. So that's always really, really cool to see. So last week we created this book cover poster deal that I talked about, and I shared the photo. And we have Lucas creating another one that he did not use the same model, but he used some kind of composition. Lucas is in the chat. I don't know if you created this with the intention of being like a book cover, but I feel like it's really cool. It honestly gives me what's the game League of Legends, the TV show that's on Netflix on that. It gives me that vibe. Can't remember what it's called exactly, but it gives me that vibe. It's really cool. I love the eyes. Really nice composition. And I like how you keeping the color super minimal. here. I do like the more simple version better than the one with the bird. The one with the bird feels like it's probably it needs a little bit more contrast happening for the bird to be able to for us to be able to see the silhouette of the bird a little bit better. What's up, Jenny? Good to see you. How you been? Welcome in. So yeah, something that I would do there is like to go with this version. I see that you have another one that was probably the final version that you created, where you actually incorporated some of the background things that you had before. It looks like you were incorporating some of those like Renaissance looking paintings into the whole thing, which is really cool. Yeah, Arcane is what I'm talking about, Gabriela. Thank you. That's exactly it. So yeah, it's really, really cool to see you incorporating this into the neck and then going into the face. That looks really cool. I love this approach, and I love how everything in the background frames the face really nicely as a circle. Congratulations on another amazing artwork. Arif made a comment. I don't know if Arif is here. I haven't seen Arif in a while. But if anybody else wants to post, feel free to go in our Discord, post in there, and we can review it. Yeah, I made a recreation as a tribute. Are you talking about this one that we just reviewed, Lucas? I like this. I like the whole composition is cool, and I like how you have some of the elements from the top and the bottom and how they interact with each other. But yeah, anybody else that wants to share their work, feel free to go in there, share your work. We'd love to see what you are making and how you're making it. And I feel like it could be really, really cool. All right. So what are we doing today? We're jumping back into Photoshop. Of course, I'm creating another poster today, and I'm doing the normal size that I normally do, 4800 by 6000, 300 DPI, RGB. And so normally I'm creating with Image P3 because I feel like Image P3 gives you more. I read an article about it, and it gives you more range and mobile and all that. So I've been doing Image P3, but you guys let me know what you think about the color modes that you guys are using. sRGB is another one that I use a lot because it interacts really well when you're trying to print it with CMYK. So it's easier to transform sRGB files to CMYK when doing that. So I'm using Image P3 right now for this. What's up, Rami? Good to see you in the chat, bro. Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate you. I use your Instagram tutorial to enhance her skin tones using the glow diffusion. That's so cool, bro. I'm glad that you used that, Lucas. Lucas is referring to... Let me see if I can pull it up without breaking anything here. So obviously I'm on Instagram. Guys, check out my Instagram whenever you have a chance. Let me take you to what he's talking about. He's talking about this tutorial over here that I made a little bit ago to show how you can enhance the skin texture. So if you want to see more tutorials like this, head over to my Instagram, check it out, and leave a comment, give me a thumbs up. That would be really cool. Anyways, going back into Photoshop. All right, so we have our size ready to go. And what we could do now is that we're going to be choosing one of the images that I have here. So I have a few images, and I want to explain to you guys what I'm thinking about like concepting for these images. Like usual, this show lasts only 1 hour, so we right now have about 50 minutes or so to create these. And it's something that I like to do, is to put a time constraint on everything that I do creatively, because otherwise you can go on forever. I've talked about it on this show, and some of you guys I know that have adopted this way of doing this, but I have a timer, and in my timer, what I do is that I set it up for like the time that I feel like it should take me to do something. And that's the way that I try to time myself when doing things creatively, because otherwise you can stay on forever, and this helps you really make the most of your time. So whether you're doing a poster or branding for somebody or anything like that, and every time you jump into a creative session, timing yourself is something that is super valuable and that you can do all the time. Anyways, so with my timer on, my natural timer of the show is on an extra 50 minutes from now. We have a few images that we can use. We have this image. We have this side profile photo image, and we have this front image. I have another front image that I would like to use, but maybe I'll save it for another episode because the styling of it is a little bit more like magazine-like, scan-like, so it has this kind of like distressed look to it that I would like to save for another show when we do something else. But for now, we have these 3 images, and what I'm trying to do with it, what I had in my brain that I would do with it, is to go to this grid. I'm making a branding for a client right now, and I'm using a lot of like grids for the work that I'm doing. So I'm thinking, what if we did a grid design? And what I'm doing here is that I open an Illustrator file. I'm going to go to View and then Snap to Grid, so that whenever we draw something, it snaps into the grid that's there. I brought this grid up by pressing Command and the quotation marks on the, I don't know what the name of that is, but it's the quotation marks right next to the Enter button. And when you click on that, you can bring in this grid, and then you can make anything here, and it really sticks to the grid. It's really easy to do it this way. It's really nice when you're designing, for example, logos or anything else that you have going on. So this is my favorite way to use Illustrator actually, is with these grids, because you can literally make anything and it'll work because it sticks to the grid. So anyways, so I'm thinking, what if we create a grid? I have some colors here. That actually I've been working for that campaign that I'm doing, and I thought it would be cool to do it and also use it for this poster that we're doing today. So what I'm thinking is, what if we use a grid and then grab some of that grid and bring it into Photoshop to create some kind of texturing on top of the face, and even some cutouts around the face and the eyes, and then bring that into even this photo that I have over here. Oh, I'm sorry, different layer. Even this photo that I have over here, I was thinking, what if we use the grid to position it inside of these shapes and create this kind of like world where this person's wearing this helmet, but the helmet is really not there. So we will have to take it into Firefly, remove the helmet using AI, and then have the helmet here for reference, and do the grid on top of it to make the person look like they're wearing a helmet, but the helmet is made with this kind of like grid texture that we're creating in Illustrator. So I don't know, those are the ideas. Let me know what you guys think, and we can jump on it. What's up, Frank? Good to see you. It's good to see you around here, man. Happy Thursday. Good to have you. Okay, so those are the ideas. Let's go ahead and make the grid. To do so, at the same time, I want to drop these photos inside of Illustrator as well. Last week, somebody asked me how I like to set up my computer so I can jump between softwares like I do here. I just have a hot corner here that makes it to where I can see all my screens, and that's probably the easiest way to jump from one software to the other one, especially when using Illustrator and all that, and Photoshop at the same time. So yeah, this is what I mean. Probably adding this photo into the back here as a reference. And yeah, what I'm gonna start doing here is that I'm going to start making this kind of like grid that is a little bit like a checkers board in a way. There are so many types of grids in the world. It's kind of fun to explore online and see some of it. Specifically for this image that we're creating, if I'm thinking about it, that image being what we do, this image back here, I'm thinking that the grid needs to be like pretty simple, pretty easy to see and understand, and also have like some areas where it's empty, some areas where it's full. I don't know if my explanation of my vision came across right. You guys let me know if you're understanding what I'm trying to do here. But I feel like it could be cool. Let me make this grid. I feel like it's pretty simple. Like I said, if you have view, snap to grid, it's so easy to just create squares in here essentially. So we're going to be doing that for a little bit more, just creating a few more that we can add into the image over here. Again, I'm trying to just make it to where we have this grid that then we can lay it on top of the image. Maybe this is good for the first grid, quote unquote. I want to make another one that's even smaller. So we have less big squares. So the squares are a little bit smaller. I don't know if this will be useful. This is more like a checkers board at this point. Again, all I'm doing here is drawing the squares and then pressing Option as I drag to create a copy of it. Let's bring them down here. So yeah, I want to create a checkers board. Press Command D to duplicate the action that you made. Cool. So I like this checkers board. I want to lock the layer underneath by pressing Command 2, and that locks this layer, so I cannot move it anymore. Maybe what I'll do is that I'll extend some of these to create some different quote unquote designs in here. It's funny because when you do something like this, you want to create something random looking, and then you end up creating something that feels more like a pattern, which wasn't my intention. But I mean, it's usually how it goes, right? There's only so much that you can change within a small grid like this. Yeah, I feel happy with this. I feel like it has a cool look to it. Let's bring it into Photoshop so you guys can see a little bit of what I'm talking about, that the idea would be. Again, if you're new here, it's your first time, you can go to Discord, share your work. We'll review it during the show. At the end of the show, I'll try to remember to go back into here and look in to see if anybody else has posted anything and check it out. At the same time, if you are if you're wanting to comment, and if you're new and you're in here and you've never commented before, you can do it. You can say hi to the community, say what's up. We'd love to see you. Dino, what's up? It's good to see you. Holy Inquisition, it does gives that vibe, huh? It's kind of scary right now. So hopefully what we could do is like let's remove the helmet from the image. Let's see if we have success doing that before we even getting to working with this image, because I don't want to create an image and then mess it up by doing that. So I'm creating a new board inside of a Firefly, which is been my favorite way lately to interact with photography, or like to create options of photography and keep playing with things. And the way that works is that you just click Generate Image. You choose the model that you want to do. This is the infamous Nano Banana. Is Gemini 3 and 2. So I'm going to pick 3 right now. And then what I'm going to do is that I want to keep the same ratio of image per se, which is portrait. And then I'm going to click this button over here and color pick my image. So that means that whatever we make is made on top of this image, or made with this image as reference. And I want to say keep position and camera angle the same. Did I spell position wrong? I don't know what I'm doing. When it comes to spelling, guys, you'll find out how bad I am. Okay, keep position and camera angle the same. Same person. Just remove the helmet. Let's see what it does. This seems like a really hard thing to do, right? To keep the same image, same thing, but removing the helmet could be really hard for these, but we'll see if it happens or not. I think it could be cool. I am? Is that your name? If I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry. Hi, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Okay, so we are trying to remove these. The plan is to remove this person from inside this helmet and then keep the helmet as a reference, and then go in and build like a little grid around their face using photography. This is taking a little longer than I thought. Oh, here it is. Okay. So supposed to be the same person, supposed to be the same angle. Can I lower opacity here? I don't know if I can. But what I can do is that I can press copy as PNG and bring it inside of Photoshop. Let's paste it over here. It's a little bit smaller, lower quality image, but it's fine. We're gonna lay it on top of this and it should match. We'll see. Okay, it matches pretty well. Let me see. Okay, the nose and everything is in the same place. So we should be able to go ahead and do our plan the way we want to do it. So unpronounced, I am Concord. I love that. Okay, great. Reading chat is always so interesting for me. I'm so sorry. I get it wrong every time. All right, so, but welcome. Regardless of how you pronounce it, I'm glad that I'm pronouncing it right now. I am Concord. It's good to see you. Okay, so the idea is to bring this grid in that we just created. It's pretty simply here in Illustrator and bring it into Photoshop. Let's go ahead and do that. As I always say with this show every week, I feel like I have to repeat that every week repeat this every week. But I honestly have a plan sometimes when I come into the show, but I haven't tried that plan most of the time. Most of the time it's something that I haven't done before, and I'm wanting to do it in the show because I feel like it could be really fun to do it. But there's a high success of me failing during the attempt because I've never done it before. All right, so we have this here. I'm gonna straight up just fit it into the space, right? So just like that. And then I'm trying to think of what else I should do to it. If I should probably cut it to the sizing of it. I don't know if I should. No, because that would create a solid behind it. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna do the shape like this, and then make a mask on that shape so that it stays within that shape. Perfect. And now if we fade this out, so it's going to look like that towards the end, right? So use the grid to mask the helmet image. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Essentially what we're doing is, like, as you can see here, we're positioning this grid on top of the helmet. Should be a cool idea. I don't know how well it's going to execute, to be honest. But what I'm going to do is that I'm going to paste this again, and let's go for this longer thing here on the nose. Now, I don't know if we should just do one long one like this. I feel like it could be cool. Let me position it like that. Sweet. Perfect. I feel like this is cool. I feel like doing a longer one is cool. Perfect. And we're gonna click enter. I'm looking at the time to see how much time realistically we have. It's also a common theme of this show for us to run out of time because the ideas might be too ambitious as we're working on them. Okay, this time I'm gonna click enter first and then put it in and then warp it after, because this one has more of a curves way here. So I want to be able to position it like that, and then left click, warp, and then on the warping, we're going to be clicking on these points, bringing them in, and warping it around this shape, right? So we want to bring them in like this. And this is tripping my eyes a little bit. They're hurting right now. So I want to fade this out a little bit more. Again, left click, warp in. You see, I made a mistake there because I left the transformation that I was doing before it was done. So when I do the transformation again, it doesn't carry from the same place. It starts warping like my transformation as a flat. But I feel like this is working. I feel like it's getting good. Thank you, Rami. I appreciate it. Great, smart idea. That's cool. Thank you, man. Okay, so how do we do the top of the head? Maybe we do it going back like this. So let's go ahead and try that. So I'm gonna go ahead and click pixel. I'm clicking pixel because I feel like it could be better to do it that way. Yeah, because if we do a smart layer, it doesn't warp as well. Okay, so I feel like this size is good for the top. you know, actually what we need for the top is going to be to duplicate these multiple times, because like the area where it has to cover is a little larger. So I'm sorry for all the blue. It might be confusing to look at right now. So what I'm going to do in a second is to change the color of some of these that I'm done with to a different color, so we're not tripping over here with all this blue. Okay, so right, so let's do a little folder here, and then I'm going to color overlay this folder to a less invasive color than that blue. So maybe something like this. So it's easy for us to see where it is, but we don't get confused with the other one. But the squares still confuse me, but it's a little easier to see at this point. Okay, we'll keep it like that. Okay, and then we can throw in some gradients inside of this gradient stuff. I feel like it could be really cool. Okay, I'm getting excited by this concept. I feel like it could be really, really cool. Okay, sweet. Up here is going to take a little bit of warping, so I'm gonna push this back like this. So what I'm doing here is holding Command as I transform, and that allows me to transform any direction that I want. So I'm thinking if the best way would be to just do something like this and then warp it up, like from the metal, like this, like mimicking an Arshol like helmet or like something like that. Sweet, like that. And then this one, we're going to be bringing it down and warping it slowly. This could get really messy really quickly when you're warping things. If you guys have done this before, you know it could be messy sometimes. So boom, we're going to bring it down a little bit more like that. So I feel like this is working well. Man, I'm afraid of pressing enter on my keyboard and not, because sometimes when you warp, like I said, if you warp and you press enter, you kind of have to start over with the mesh, and I would like to see what it largely looks like. I feel like that's looking pretty good, so probably gonna press enter and let it go. Sweet, I'm happy with that. That looks cool. Perfect. So I'm gonna mute it real quick, and then I'm gonna create a shape that is going to hold that shape into. Hopefully this is not too boring for you guys. I'm trying to keep it as entertaining as possible with me talking over what I'm doing. But I know that, you know, I'm essentially repeating the same step over and over on this thing. But yeah, I feel like it's looking cool. It's like a swimmer cap. It is. Hey, that would be a cool design for a swimmer cap, like the squares. Probably somebody else has done it, some brand or something cool. Okay. The other thing is that maybe we need to make this a little bit more flat to follow or like to help the design that's going on here. Because I keep forgetting, like I'm like, oh, I can put this here and then hide it underneath the other layer, but there's no other layer. There's just like a shape. So I'm gonna select that shape and make a mask with it so it stays within that mask over here. Boom. And then it should stay within that, and I'm gonna move it into the group of the finished shapes. This is educational and entertaining. Let's go. That's right. Please, your IG account down. I can seem to find it. Oh, my IG account is going to be my name, Magdiel LOP. Magdiel LOP. That's how you can find me on my IG. Okay. Keep going back to this. One thing that will be cool will be to eventually, like in the areas where it overlaps like that. Yeah, because you see the model's head is a tiny bit, it feels like it's a tiny bit bigger than it should be. So we can, I mean, there's no problem with that. We can just make it a tiny bit smaller. As long as this kind of fits the same profile, we should be good. And then my thinking is that later on, we could go in here and, for example, create some negative space over here to where I'm creating a cut line that I can cut into the background, right? So even though they're overlapping and they're the same type of thing, you still seeing it different. The other thing that I do want to do, and I'm showing you guys this real quick because I want you to kind of catch the full vision of it, is to play with what would be lighter and darker. So this one, for example, will be a little bit lighter. So I'm gonna do color overlay, and we're gonna do the same blue, but then I'm gonna make it a little bit lighter, so that whenever you're looking at this, you're seeing it like change depending on the lighting, the way the lighting is hitting it. All right, so we obviously got more work to do with this, so let's keep going. Another version that we could do, that we could get out of this, is probably to do a version inside of that Firefly file that has the helmet on white. So instead of having these lines, it's pure white. So let's go ahead and do that version as well. So I'm gonna click generate again, and then in the same thing, keep everything in the same position, angle, change helmet to solid. Let's do solid white. I should probably do blue. I don't know. Let's send it and see what happens. Because if we have a solid white helmet, if the idea of doing transparent, because the idea of transparent is really cool, but we're gonna have to do some shadows between that and the face to make it stand out and make it super clear. We can absolutely do that. I don't know if I'll have time to do it in the next 20 minutes, but this show is called On the Spot, for those of you guys that don't know. And the whole reason for it to be called On the Spot is because this kind of stuff happens, right? We want to do it on the spot. We want to kind of like be like, kind of have this kind of like pressure that's happening right now, where it's like, oh, I don't know if I'll be able to do this or not. And trying to do something where we finish at some point with something, right? So if at any point I feel like, oh, I won't be able to finish this, or like it's getting to a point where it's like pretty close to not being something we can finish, I'll try to finish it some way, you know, for the show. And then the idea, we could keep going some other time and trying to finish the idea some other time. Okay, so I'm gonna keep doing a few of the other parts over here. Let's wrap. I'm gonna wrap around a little bit more. So this is doing the same idea that we're doing before. I created this white thing just to see if I needed to mask it, but apparently I don't have to. I was trying to find the live where you add the stickers to the face, but you couldn't find it. Okay, I think that live happened when we were doing the lives in Twitch. So I don't think it happened here on YouTube. So if you're looking for that, that's probably why you can't find it. Why you couldn't find it. So I would check that out. All right. So what am I doing here? Okay. I'm losing track of what I'm doing because I'm getting entertained by talking to you guys. All right. Okay. I like this. White looks cool. But you know what? I want it to be a smooth, not with lines. So solid white and smooth, no lines. Let's see if it can give me that, and we'll put it in here. I'm even liking this on top of the helmet. I feel like it's starting to look cool. I'm gonna add another one here. So let's go ahead and do the same thing. I'm gonna add it, make it big first, and then sweet. We want this kind of angle to be happening here because like we want it to have that look, right? Like it's rotating a little bit and doing its thing. At the same time, I don't want to forget about this because I feel like I keep forgetting about it. You see, on this case, I make the mistake of warping without it being a pixel first. So I'm gonna have to start over because if I do a smart object and I don't do pixel, the transformation that I apply with it, if I transform it into pixel later on, it stays in a crooked kind of thing. So I want to be able to I have to do it on the first try per se, especially if I want to warp it. Okay, like this, maybe bring it up here like that. Hey, that works. It's looking good. Sorry to blame the solar flares and freezing temperatures. Marsha, that's right. You are up in Canada, right? Welcome back. Welcome to the show. Well, I'm down in Texas, and people here are like running super scared because of the storm. And I know up down here it's not going to be anything compared to what it is up there, but it's just funny that, people are not used to the cold weather here at all. So every time we have a small storm, everybody's running around like crazy. I'm not going to have the pleasure to be here for the storm, which I'm so happy about. I'm going to head down to Florida this weekend. But yeah, I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss the only storm that we ever get, like cold weather storm that we ever get. We get once a year, one maybe here in Texas. It's not super cold. How's the rest of the people over here? Are you guys? Rami, thank you for being here today, man. We'll see you later. See you next week. Where's the rest of the people at? Are you guys in a place where it's cold, or is it pretty good where you are at? I know a lot of the U.S. has a bunch of storms right now, and yeah, hopefully you guys are staying warm out there and it's not too crazy. Okay, I keep warping this thing to look like it's going behind there a little bit more, as you can see over here. It's playing with the design a tiny bit to give it that look, that feel. Playing with it. Sweet. I cannot forget to check what it looks like with none of that structuring, right? To see if we're gonna have to make a decision of like having to outline the thing, right? So what I'm thinking is like, maybe on this we will have to I don't know if I created one for that one. Yeah, this one. So I don't know if we're gonna have to outline it at least, just to give just conceptually, to define it a tiny bit more so people know what we're doing. Because if we just leave it the way it is, it's really hard to see what's going on, right? But with this, I feel like we could outline it really well. But yeah, we still have so much work to do to bring this back. Let me see. Yeah, I like the white version. It's cool. So I'm gonna copy the white version of this. I know there's an upscaler in here. So let's try to upscale this real quick and see what we get. If we get a better image. So that's through Topaz. So it's Topaz upscaler, and it's a partnership with Firefly, where you can use their services inside of Firefly, and it should be giving us a better image over here with a little bit more quality. And maybe this is where we go. Maybe we go with that. We go with we're putting this on the background instead of leaving it empty, and we can go with that. We're not used to the cold. Saying Jenny said, yeah, I'm not used to the cold. Let's see. I miss when I did the sessions where we join body parts creatively. I was working on something similar, but skateboard stuff kind of abandoned since last year's sessions. Gabriela, you have to get back into it. It's just the way it is. Waiting for the 16 Fahrenheit tomorrow here. Frank, I don't know where you are, but stay inside. Last time there was a storm like this in Dallas. This is taking a while, huh? Last time there was a storm like this big, the one that is coming, we were about to have my second kid, my youngest, and my wife was super pregnant, and we lost power for like 3 days. And it was kind of scary because we just couldn't, like, there was no power, and it was getting colder and colder inside the house, and we lost power like 3 days, like, because like I said, we're not prepared for, like, Texas is not prepared for like storms like that, because people don't know what's up with it. So yeah, it's pretty scary to live through that. I mean, it wasn't anything huge, but at the same time, it was almost like, I don't know, like, my wife is pregnant, and we're here sitting in the house, and there's no, like, it's getting colder and colder, and all the hotels were sold out and everything, so we couldn't go anywhere. Luckily, we had some friends that invited us into their house and they had power, so we stayed in there for a few days, and that was really helpful. Okay, I'm liking with the white, and it's looking a lot better. It's looking a lot better. I'm in Montreal. Okay, minus 16. I thought you said 16. It's minus 16. That's crazy. Wind chill tomorrow minus 25. And that's Fahrenheit, right? What is that in Celsius for everybody else that doesn't speak Fahrenheit? I'm trying to convert it in my brain, but I don't think I can do it that fast. Okay, I'm liking the white background a lot better. I feel like this works a little bit better. So let me line it up really well over here. I don't think the size is correct. It's almost there, just a tiny bit smaller. And you see, guys, just like I said at the beginning, we're going to run out of time at some point. We still got 20 minutes, so we still got time. Let's not give up on this concept yet, just for the sake of time. And even if we don't get to do it in the show, I normally do it and finish it and put it on my Instagram. This for those of you guys who don't know. It's the way it normally goes. Or I finish it and then I'll show it on Discord, or I'll show it in the next episode of the show next week. But yeah, if this also inspires you to create something, I would love to see your creation on Discord. Okay, so let's go into this mustache thing over here. I feel like we could do the same. Just paste. So I'm gonna copy paste this into it. Pixel again, and then we're gonna go with this, just like that. Sweet. And then we're gonna align it over here and align it down here. I kind of need to see where that is going. Oh, look, I finished. I did it right on it. This is what I mean. If you click enter for any reason, you cannot go back into it. So you have to kind of like do it the first time and do it right, which kind of sucks. Okay, so I do want to edit this over here so you can see that going into it. So I'm gonna click on some of these. There's some imperfections happening here as we try to move fast. Like some of the things are not super lining up like super well. What I mean is like, you know, we could do it to where there's a little bit more happening. But one cool thing that we could do now that we have a white helmet is that we could bring in, let me show you guys this trick. I don't know if you've used this trick before, but you can bring this all the way to the top and then go to select and then click color range. And then we're going to be either doing shadows to where it picks all the shadows automatically for us. And then here you can like, you know, go as intense as you want to go. But this is going to help us pick some of the shadows on the composition. And then when you click OK and you put a mask on this, you automatically have like a shadow layer on top of everything. So we'll be able to color overlay this and make it dark. And we are able to also bring the opacity down and make it multiply. And you see now these areas that are under the shadows will look like they're under the shadows, and we don't have to draw any of those shadows, and it's really easy to do that. So that's really cool and really easy to do, like an easy change to do. Okay, so what are we doing here? Let me go back to see what's going on. Okay, I like this. One thing that I want to do right now is that I feel like for this concept, for the time that we have today, the easiest thing, I know it's not the coolest thing, but the easiest thing to do to be able to finish something on during the show would be to leave it with the helmet on and to do some coloring inside of the grid, as well as maybe let me finish this back of the helmet over here, and then we can start adding some coloring to it, just so we can have something to show for at the end of the show. So let me go ahead and add that. It will be pixel. make it bigger. Something like that would be good. I'm gonna click enter. Now it's throwing me off because it's keeping all these shadows. You see the shadows every time I move it in. So it looks like it has an opacity layer or something in it, but it's just like, it's what we did, right? So, okay. So what I want to do with this one is that I want to kind of do the same thing, right? Let's do elongate it over here, elongate it up here, a little bit like that. I don't want to stretch it way too much. And then we're going to click warp and we're going to warp it. So we're doing the same thing where it looks like it's wrapping around the head a little bit, doing our best here to keep it interesting. Perfect. Sweet. And then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use the selection tool, or in this case, I'm going to use the pen tool. Probably a little easier to be more precise, to do a selection like this and a selection down the head over here where we are going to be cutting this out. Okay, perfect. Let me turn it back on. Where is it? Is it over here? I don't see it anymore. Zero opacity. Great. Let me bring it back up, and then selection, and then mask. Sweet. Okay. Starting to look really nice as it wraps around. Yeah. I feel like the probably the white is the best. And the other thing that we could do is that this shadow layer that we have, we can probably merge it into the blue itself. So it's nowhere else but only on top of the blue. And I feel like that works. So anything that's inside of this layer, which is not all the layers, that's why it's not showing all of them. So anything that I put in here is going to have the shadows on top. So it makes it really nice because we can see how that changes that, right? This makes it a lot better. One of the things that is affecting this right now is that it's not, for example, over here, the nose is a little bit more, there you go, just like that. Sweet. Okay, perfect. So I do want to start adding some coloring to this whole thing. Part of me wants to add another one down here just for balance of the whole image. I feel like it needs one at least over here. So let's go ahead and do that. I have it already loaded on the copy, so I just have to paste it, which is nice. Let's see. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything on the chat. I don't know if Marsha, did you submit something today? I'm gonna check it out. I see that Frank is saying good job, Marsha. So I want to go check it out in a second. All right, so over here, just like this and just like that. Maybe it's too wide. Like it. I want to kind of follow this line over here, and if you guys can see it, this line, and imagine there's another one here. So sweet, sweet, sweet. Maybe something like that. Press enter, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use the pen tool to do a selection over here. And down here, maybe I'll do the same. And then I'll make the shape a little larger. Sweet. Okay, perfect. I just want to do that. Go invert and then delete. Where is it at? Delete, delete, delete. Boom, there it is. Invert it, and now we're good to go. Okay, sweet. So I feel like that gives it a little bit more of a thing over there. I'm gonna put it in the shadow layer, and this is looking good. None of it is centered in the Canva, but it doesn't matter. We can do that later, I guess. I'm running over here, guys, sweating like usual. The last 10 minutes, some things never change. One thing that we could do here for these white spots on the edges is that we can do generate fill, and I'm just do generate fill and let it fill that part for me, so I don't have to do anything extra. And then let's start coloring a little bit into it. I'm trying to think if I should use those colors that I showed you guys at the beginning. I feel like it could be cool. Okay, let me color this part over here. We'll do the same thing, generate fill. And after as that's happening, we're probably going to be using some of those colors, right? So let me go ahead and grab those colors from Illustrator. I was waiting for that to complete. Now that it's complete, we can. I feel like the head is somewhat in the middle. It's probably more to the right than to the left, but that's okay. I feel like we could live with it. The other things is like, because we're adding the shadows on top of this, it's really showing all the stuff that's going on with the helmet itself, which is okay, I guess. I'm trying to process how I would do this real quick. Let's go ahead and copy these colors. These colors, I'm gonna throw them in here. These are colors that I'm using for branding that I'm making, and they're super cool and bright. So I'm gonna put them over here so I can reference them as I go. And then I guess what I want to start doing, I'm thinking about it. One of the problems that we're gonna have, I think, is if I do color overlay in some of these, you see, is going to block that layer of like shadows that we have. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna create a layer on top of them and then just color fill them with my with my brush. I feel like that's going to be faster. So layer, mask a layer on top of them, and then we're going to go in, choose one of the colors, and just go to town with it. Yeah, because we are doing, I'm trying to think, I'm painting multiply, that was a mistake, I'm sorry everybody. All right, because we are doing, I feel like I did the same thing here, I have to go back. Like I said, because we're doing this thing and I want to make it look like that's happening. I don't know if I should stay in one color or multiple colors. What do you guys think? Should I go crazy with the colors? Should I stay a little bit more tame and be a little bit more conservative with the color? Or should I just go nuts? Trying to think through what to do here. There's more shadows on this side, so maybe we can go with the darker over here. I feel like this is the color is killing this artwork. It's not making it better. You know, I don't know if this ever happened to you guys. When I was a kid, I used to draw a lot, and then I remember drawing sometimes, and the drawings look so good on pencil, and then I would start coloring things, and they would start looking so bad. I feel like that's what's happening right now. I feel like this concept was solid until I started doing these gradings on top. Always go nuts, says Ryan. I do. I kind of want to do it. I'm there. I'm pushing for it. We'll see. I'm starting with only blue just to see what happens, and then see if I want to just double down and make it crazy. One thing that we could do is that we could always, go with a game where like we're doing a little bit of darker, like so we'll do the same gradient every time, but then we'll play with the values of it a little bit like this. And I feel like that could work really well. One thing that I feel like I want to see in here, in this square over here, or this rectangle, I want to see like a phrase or something in there, but made with a font. How would that be? Let's see. Let's just try that out. So I'm gonna type in. Okay, human, and I'm gonna use this font. Sweet. Human. Okay, and then it could be cool to do some of these holes that are empty over here with this brighter, with fonts. I feel like that could be, something that's starts looking cool. Human, perfect, something like that. The N is so big. It's too unproportionate. Maybe more like that. This could be cool. I don't even know if you can read human anymore, but I feel like it's cool. Let me see. Silence of the Lamb. I don't know. You're not talking to me, are you? I'm Marsha. You threw me off with that one. Silence of the Lamb. It's a cool movie, though. I haven't seen that movie in forever. It's a classic. All right, we only have like 4 minutes, guys, and I keep doing this. I feel like this last thing that I did here with the human was cool, but it's not lining up perfectly. We can always go to warp, make it a tiny bit more like this. I feel like this could be a good poster for like a festival or something crazy like that. Let's do another word real quick. I think I have time to do it. Let me see. Bring it up to the top. System. Okay, sweet. And then I'm gonna do this one. Maybe this brighter. You see, now if I throw in a color, it's like, what are you doing? Like, do you don't have any other colors in here? So it looks off. It's one of the things that I talk about. It's like when you're making something and you don't have any other thing to support it, it almost like feels like you're like missing it, missing out, or like adding something that doesn't feel like it should be there. So, okay, I'm gonna rasterize this text so that I can warp it as much as I want to. I'm gonna warp it just like this. System. I feel like this could be cool. So we can support some of the structure there and make it look cool. And yeah, it's looking cool. Sweet. I'm gonna move it down here into this. And maybe one final thing we can do, since we have only like 2 minutes left, is to add some of that color that I wanted to add, but only inside of the letters. So that could be cool. Yeah, I feel like this concept overall is super cool. I feel like I needed a tiny bit more time to execute it right. But a cool concept. Hopefully you guys like it. And if you want to create something similar, I'd love to see it on the Discord. And check it out. Let me go take a look at Discord real quick just to see if, oh yeah, Marsha submitted a poster with the same image that we used last week. I love this. We were on the theme of book covers last week, and I love seeing this, Marsha. Thank you for submitting it. Thank you everybody that submitted work. And it's always submitting work and commenting on Discord. It's so good to have that. Thank you guys for coming with me on this ride today where we attempted to create something cool, and maybe we're successful or not. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for another great time, another great Thursday. Really get really happy with being able to jump on this and create with you guys. And hopefully I'll see you guys next week for another show of On the Spot at the same time. Stick around for Adobe Live. Inside of Discord, you can see the time for all the shows that happen all the time, every day. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.